Good evening, it's just past 6 o'clock on Saturday the 28th of May, and welcome to our Saturday evening news programme live from the heart of Wyke, Regis. And at the end of April, a new Weymouth information shop quietly opened its doors in St Mary Street, Weymouth. Immediately people started walking in and asking for information, help and advice. Now affectionately known as the Wiz, the Weymouth Information Shop, this is conveniently and accessible hub of information for residents and visitors of Weymouth. The Wiz is a front door offering information and signposting to a host of services including healthcare and wellness, social care, carer support, community groups, volunteering, tourism, as well as general information and advice. The project came about, and the concept for the project came about through collaborative work being done by the project partners. That's Age UK, Help and Kindness, Volunteer Centre Dorset, and the Weymouth Area Development Trust. These partners had already been working together with the statutory, voluntary, community and charity sectors, but wondered if having a public-facing collaborative base would work and benefit the community. Chris Wilson, who is the CEO or the Chief Executive Officer of the Weymouth Area Development Trust, commenting about Wiz, said, "We really wanted to make a wide range of local information, help, advice, services, clubs and community groups more accessible by bringing them onto the high street. We have created a single front door for the community that is welcoming for everyone. You can even just pop in for a friendly chat and a cuppa. We know that many people still like to speak to someone face to face and that it can be hard asking for help, particularly if you don't know what is available. The Wiz team consists of staff representing different partner organisations and volunteers on a daily basis, so every shift there is a breadth of expertise and experience available. It's a joy to work with so many different people and organisations as part of the Wiz staff team. It's a great chance to learn more about each other's work and draw on one another's expertise. It strengthens the support we can offer together to anyone who visits the Wiz." That was commented by John Sloper, who from Help and Kindness. The Weymouth Information Shop was officially opened this week by Deputy Mayor Councillor Tia Roos with a ribbon cutting on Thursday the 26th of May, so a couple of days ago. The Weymouth Information Shop is at 98 St Mary Street, Weymouth, close to the King's Statue End, next door to Costa and opposite Marks and Spencer's. They're open Monday to Friday, 10 AM to 4 PM. So why not pop in and say hello and see what information they've got and whether it's of help to you, particularly if you're looking for help and support, of course. Now, a new landfill site has been agreed for Portland for up to 1 million tonnes of rubbish. The site is at Coombefield Quarry, north of Southwell Road, and the application was submitted by Portland Stone Limited and is situated just a few metres away from the Heritage Coast and sites of special scientific interest. The application had received 17 letters of support and just one objection. Portland Stone have said that up to 60,000 tonnes of waste could be deposited each year into the quarry, with around half of it being commercial waste, and so it will take around 17 years until the quarry is at capacity. Now, Weymouth Town... Whoops, that's the wrong one. Let's get the right one up. Weymouth Town Council is seeking input from local people on how they can make Weymouth seafront a more inviting and enjoyable place to be. The council have appointed consultants, Hemingway Design, to assist with producing a vision for the seafront. The plan will cover the 3-kilometre stretch from the pavilion through to Overcombe Beach. Any member of the public can take part in the survey and submit their views by going online to www.thinkweymouthseafront.co.uk. That's www.thinkweymouthseafront.co.uk. The police are warning about a rise in thefts from sheds and garages across Dorset. The warning comes as part of a programme called Shed Education, which highlights the issue of shed and garage burglaries. The police have said thieves are targeting power tools, cycles, sports equipment and hand tools. So keep your sheds secured, that's the message. Now, staying with Dorset Police, police officers are investigating a fatal road traffic collision near Dorchester and are appealing for witnesses or anyone with dashcam footage to come forward. Dorset Police received a report at 2:17 p.m. This Tuesday, the 24th of May, of a single vehicle collision involving a white Triumph motorcycle on the A35 Puddleton bypass near to Tolpuddle. The rider of the motorcycle, a man aged in his 50s, sadly died at the scene of the accident. The road was closed to allow emergency services to deal with the incident, and it wasn't fully reopened until 8 p.m. Police Sergeant Jerry Butler of the traffic unit said, "Our thoughts remain with the family and friends of the man who sadly died. An investigation is underway into the collision, and I'm appealing for anyone who witnessed what happened to please come forward. I'd also be very keen to hear from any motorists who have captured the incident or events leading up to it on dash cam footage." Now, staying with Dorset Police, officers are appealing for witnesses to come forward after a reported assault in Weymouth Town Centre. Dorset Police received a report at 12:42 a.m. on Saturday the 21st of May, so that's this time last week, just earlier in the day, of course, of a fight involving a man and a group of people in the area of the Crown Hotel on St Thomas Street. Officers attended and the group dispersed. It was further reported that the man allegedly assaulted a woman a short time before in St Mary Street. She did not sustain any injuries. A 41-year-old man from Weymouth has been arrested on suspicion of assault and released on police bail while inquiries continue. Police Constable Lauren Edwards of Weymouth Police said, "I'm appealing to anyone who witnessed the alleged assault involving a man and woman to please come forward. I'm also keen to hear from anyone who may be in the area at the time of the reported fight and saw what happened." Now, if you've got any information on the shed burglaries, on that fatal accident with the motorcyclist, or that fight and assault in Weymouth, then it's the usual numbers to call at 101 on the telephone direct to Dorset Police. And if you wish to give information anonymously, and of course it is truly anonymously, then you can give it via Crime Stoppers, an independent charity, on 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111 and 101 to phone direct to Dorset Police. Now, Dorchester's and West Dorset's largest vaccination centre will close this week as the Dorset COVID-19 vaccination programme moves into its next phase. The centre, which has been in the offices of the NHS Dorset Clinical Commissioning Group at Vespasian House in Dorchester, opened in December as part of the pre-Christmas push to get booster jabs into arms. Improving access to the vaccination for people of Mid and West Dorset, the centre has delivered more than 25,000 vaccinations in the past 6 months. As well as offering vaccinations on site, has also been a base for the delivery of the programme into schools and care homes in the west of the county, as well as visits to give housebound people their life-saving dose. The centre's closure on Thursday just gone, 26th of May, heralds a new model which aims to reach even more people by offering a more localised provision in key hubs around the county. There will be sites in Weymouth, Bridport and Blandford Forum, and they will soon be in operation, or they are already open, while the Pharmacy to You site on the High Street in Dorchester will become the primary vaccination centre in Dorchester. Clinical lead for the vaccination service, Dr Ravin Ramtahol of Highcliffe Medical Centre, said, "We're moving into the next phase of the programme now, and we know that a more localised offer is what people prefer. We continue to encourage everyone who is eligible to take up the offer of a vaccine, whether it's a first, second or booster dose. It's not too late to come forward." Now, more information on where you can get your jab, whichever dose you need, is available on the Dorset Healthcare Vaccination Service webpage. So if you search for Dorset Healthcare Vaccination Service, then you will get the information. And you can book many sites on the NHS National Booking System or by calling the National Vaccination number of 119. Now, I can tell you, in Weymouth, The availability of vaccinations is going to be at the Linden unit at West Haven Community Hospital on Radipole Lane, and at Day Lewis Pharmacy in Chickerell. So that's the Linden unit, West Haven Community Hospital on Radipole Lane in Weymouth, and Day Lewis Pharmacy in Chickerell. So back down to a local level with availability of vaccines. Of course, you need to book in advance via 119 or via any text messages you get. Now, new analysis has found that Dorchester is the easiest place to pass your driving test first time in the UK. The study by learner insurance experts Ingenie examined the pass rate percentage of major driving test centres in the UK. That's those that have conducted at least 1,000 tests since April 2020. And they wanted to determine the one with the highest pass rate for first attempt tests. Dorchester came out on top with the highest percentage of first attempt pass rates out of all test centres in the UK. The Dorchester Test Centre has an average pass rate of 67.3% when analysing the passes of all tests from April 2020 through to June 2021, and that was 1,062 first tests taken, and out of those 715 were passed. In total, between April 2020 and June 2021, there were 248,293 first attempt tests taken, with 126,742 passed across the UK, and that's an average pass rate of 51%. So 51% nationally, 67.3% at the Dorchester Test Centre. Commenting on the figures, a spokesman for Ingenie said the disparity shown in driving test pass rates for first attempts is fascinating. There are several factors that go into driving tests. However, this analysis highlights that there are huge differences between test centres. Someone is nearly twice as likely to pass their driving test on their first attempt in Dorchester as they are in Birmingham. Now, I wonder what that reveals. Maybe you've got some ideas on that. Does it mean that the quality of teaching of driving is better in Dorchester than it is in Birmingham? Or does it mean that they are a lot easier on learner drivers and passing them too easy at Dorchester? Maybe you've got some ideas on that. Maybe you'd like to let us know. Now, West Dorset MP Chris Loader has held a major step forward as the Department for Levelling Up Communities and Housing and Communities has allocated Dorset Council £135,000 to rewrite the local plan, only weeks after a crunch summit the MP held in Dorset with the Levelling Up Secretary Michael Gove, in which Mr Loader expressed the urgent need for government to support to rework the local plan to shelve the controversial building of large estates, and a typical one was 4,000 homes just north of the county town. You remember Mr Loader was on about thinking about local people and not just these massive big developments to just get houses up. The cash injection now secured will act as a project management resource to support planning policy allocation in the local plan for the Garden Village and associated technical studies, design input and community engagement. Now, the coroner for Dorset is seeking some assistance from members of the public to find the next of kin of a man who lived in Dorchester. John Andrew Shorter, who was 90 years old, died at his home in Stanton Street, Poundbury, on Saturday the 21st of May. That's last Saturday. His death is not being treated as suspicious and no police investigation is needed into his death. However, the coroner's office have been unable to trace any next of kin. So if you have any knowledge of a next of kin or any possible relative or family member for John Andrew Shorter of Stanton Street, Poundbury, who died last week, please give the coroner's office a ring on 01202 123 900. That's 01202 123 900. Now, Weymouth Town Council is to host Weymouth Town Council is to host a ceremony commemorating US Memorial Day. A poignant ceremony to mark US Memorial Day will be hosted by the Mayor of Weymouth, Councillor Anne Weaving, on this coming Monday, the 30th of May. Members of the public are welcome to attend the short wreath-laying service at 11 a.m. Councillor Anne Weaving, Mayor of Weymouth, said each year many local veterans, veterans associations and residents attend this ceremony to show their respect for the US personnel who served or sadly died during World War II. The town has a long and strong relationship with the US and Allied forces, and it's important to recognise the thousands of American personnel who left the ports of Weymouth for the D-Day landings in 1944. Memorial Day is a federal holiday in America, commemorating those who have died in military service for their country. The US Memorial, where this will take place, is located on the esplanade adjacent to the Royal Hotel, and it was unveiled on the 3rd of December 1947. It was rededicated in June 1999, and further renovation work was carried out in 2012 by local stonemasons. Now, back to Dorset Police with a different angle this time, but Dorset Police and the Dorset Police and Crime Commissioner David Siddott will be joined by the Chief Constable Scott Chilton on Monday, that's this coming Monday, in a Facebook Live chat to talk about policing in Dorset. They will be discussing the progress of the Commissioner's Police and Crime Plan and the Chief Constable's vision for policing, as well as taking questions. You can join them at 6:30 p.m. on Monday, that's the 30th of May, on Facebook to find out more about the work that's been happening both behind the scenes and on the streets to keep the public safe. Just follow Dorset Police and Crime Commissioner or Dorset Police on Facebook, at PCC Dorset or at Dorset Police on Twitter, and at PCC Dorset and at Dorset_police on Instagram. There will also be a live stream on Facebook to give members of the public the opportunity to ask questions. Now, a new state-of-the-art innovation centre was formally opened by Minister for Defence Procurement, Mr Jeremy Quinn MP, at a ribbon-cutting ceremony last week at the former atomic energy site at Weymouth. Now, I've actually seen this building. It is state-of-the-art. It is modern, to say the least. I happened to be at Weymouth last week for something, and we were right next door to this building. The Ministry of Defence's new Defence Battle Lab is located at Dorset Council's Dorset Innovation Park near Woolwich, the former Atomic Energy Authority site, and brings together military personnel, academic institutions and private sector companies to trial and experiment cutting-edge technology. It is a multi-million-pound facility featuring rentable desks and office space for companies and organisations. It also boasts an engineering workshop, areas for collaborative and conference rooms. It has 5G mobile connectivity, ultra-fast broadband and a direct train line to London. It marks a £5.7 million collaboration between the Ministry of Defence, Dorset Council, Dorset Local Enterprise Partnership, and the Dorset Local Enterprise Partnership invested £1.7 million of Dorset's local growth fund into this new facility, with Dorset Council contributing a further £1.1 million of the land value and running its construction. The Council has had a leading role in the Defence Battle Lab project since the start, introducing the MOD concept to Dorset LEP, and was heavily involved in promoting the enterprise zone for inward investment as part of its Invest in Dorset programme, providing guidance and support throughout. Council officers also worked with the MOD's Defence Battle Lab team to help them understand the landscaping of investment, key sectors, working with government and other regional assets. Dorset Innovation Park is already home to leading defence-related companies such as Atlas Electronic UK, Kinetic, and Norco Composites and GRP. The South Dorset area also hosts a wide range of cutting-edge defence industries such as Eaton Mission Systems, Coda Octopus, Ultra CMS, Drumgrange, BMT, G3 Systems, and 2 units of BAE Systems and Heliops. The Defence Battle Lab offers an unprecedented opportunity for industry to collaborate with the military, delivering capability to our armed forces faster than has ever been possible before. Now, the GAP project in Dorchester, which is designed to boost people's physical and mental well-being, has just achieved charitable status. Based at Red Cow Farm in Dorchester, it aims to relieve stress, anxiety and mental health issues by offering support through holistic, ecotherapy, garden-based and horticultural activities. They have just recently moved to the new site at Red Cow Farm on Duchy of Cornwall land, which moving forward will mean they will be able to support a lot more local people. Now, if that's of interest, you just search for the GAP Project Dorchester, and you'll find out about it on the internet. And finally, Weymouth welcomes back the Entertainment Extravaganza Fair in the Square this weekend, the first event held since 2019. Of course, it has been underway today and it continues tomorrow. The charity supporting Family Festival will be held in Hope Square and along Trinity Road today and tomorrow, Sunday, May the 29th, and will include a host of stalls plus family entertainment. Bands, singers and dancers will perform on stage set up in the centre of Hope Square outside the old brewery. The extravaganza is organised by the Rotary Club of Weymouth and will be the 7th annual fair in the square, which will be the first held since 2019, obviously due to COVID-19. Club President Jerry Way said, "We ran a virtual event in 2020 and no event was possible last year due to the pandemic we've all had to endure. Live music will come from the likes of Crystal Ship, Darren Garnett, Wow, Hustle, Danny Adams, The Originals, Package Deal and many more. There will be music both days from 10:30 to 6 p.m. Full details of what's going on are in the programme, which can be picked up at the event in exchange for a donation. And the net proceeds of Fair in the Square, which is sponsored by a number of local businesses, will go towards supporting local and locally based charities and good causes. So we wish them well. They've had a lovely day today. The sun's been out, it's been a bit hot, so nice for the ice cream sales. Hopefully they'll have a good day tomorrow, and perhaps if you've got nothing on, you can pop down to Fair in the Square just by Brewers Quay there, outside the old brewery, and support the Rotary Club as they aim to support local charities in our area. Well, that's the end of our headlines tonight, and now our first piece this week is from Janet Hall, and Janet is following our Jubilee Memories theme still. And this week Janet has been catching up with several local people who have been sharing their memories of the coronation as we get up towards the Jubilee celebrations this coming week. So let's hear from them now.
With the celebrations for the Platinum Jubilee only days away, some of us have been thinking about our memories of the death of King George VI and the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II.
I remember when the King died. I was at school. We had to change from God Save the King to God Save the Queen. And we always did 2 verses at school. Always. Not the 3, but 2.
Yes, I can remember when the King died. I can remember the day. Simply because our teacher, Miss Reeve, or Mrs. Reeve, I think it was Miss Reeve, she was crying in the corridor. And of course this was quite a thing. The teacher was crying. And she said, "The King has died." And we were sent home because the King had died. That's really all I remember about that. But it does stick in my mind with this teacher crying.
During the coronation, my dad was in the army, so we were in Germany. And I must have been 11, and I'd just gone to a co-ed army boarding school in one of Hitler's old naval training bases up in the north of Germany, a place called Plön, near Kiel. And I remember the whole, there was 600 children, I think, there, and we had a television, which was good. And I can remember watching it in television, and I can remember getting a mug, and I can remember that we had a cake. And I think we did have some extra sweets, because sweets were rationed then.
And then the coronation came, and my dad and an uncle bought a little television for my grandma, who lived in Stoke, where I went to school. I guess it was no bigger than that, but it was a crowd of us, what was I, 12, going 13, in her lounge, you know. My aunts and everybody, cousins there, sat on the floor. And then when all the hallelujahs came, they got bored. I had to go out and take them out in the garden because it was rather long. Yeah. But I remember that. Yeah. And then I think it was about 2 days, 3 days after, I went to school, those of us that could, on the train to London. We were met by these lovely coaches I'd never seen, roofs with glass tops, and the girls with their red, brown coaches it was with red, and I remember it distinctly. And we went round London and up the Mall, looking at all the curves all over the Mall, and the flags all up, and the flowers round by. Oh, we had a fantastic time. And then we had a picnic, and then we came back on the train late afternoon.
1953 was a year of mixed blessings for me because I was 15. I had to finish school because my father was in a sanatorium. He had contracted tuberculosis due to an accident he'd had at the steelworks where he worked. So during the coronation, I was actually watching it on the television in the ward with my mother and father.
About this.
This is where I lived, and this was a Catholic school next to us, junior Catholic school.
Which is you again?
This one's me.
That one. Yeah.
And that's the street, that's on the day. Well, I suppose that was on the day.
Yeah.
But Roger and I can't even remember. We both had a street party, but we can't remember sitting down and eating anything.
Oh,
But I'm sure we must
that's
have.
not a good street party without any food.
No, we must have.
Who is you?
Me.
That you?
Well, that's my sister, because she always wanted to be a jockey. I want to be a jockey. So Mum dressed her up as jockey. Oh, well, look, my friend went as John Bull.
We didn't have a television like most people. Mum went next door, but I was a good little church goer in those days, and I went to church, and we had a large screen in church, and we all watched the coronation there. And I came home more or less at the end. Mum was still next door watching the tail end of it, so that was that. And then in the afternoon we had a street party, and it rained, as you might remember if you've been there, if you were there at the time. We had tables in the road, and we were all dressed in our red, white and blue, and sadly photos have disappeared from those days. In the evening we were watching out of the window after being sent to bed because all the parents were out on the green dancing, which was lovely. They'd set lights up on the porches of the doors so that it would light up the ballroom, which was the grass.
You can see many more videos and an exhibition of photographs if you come to All Saints Church on June the 2nd. And that's not all. There's a whole load of celebrations. Lots of fun for all the family. Pick up a leaflet and we'll hope to see you there.
Thank you very much, Janet. We'll mention more about what's happening on Thursday later in the programme. Now, this week is National Volunteers Week. It actually starts on the 1st of June and runs through to the 7th of June. It's a chance to thank volunteers for the fantastic contribution they make to our communities. Volunteers Week is supported and celebrated across the voluntary sector. This includes small grassroots organisations and larger household name charities as well. Together they run hundreds of activities across the UK. These activities celebrate volunteers and the contribution volunteering makes in our communities. And we've often said on this programme, actually, where would our communities and our country be without our volunteers? We do rely on them very, very heavily. Now, it's a week-long UK-wide celebration, and just some of the figures. 16.3 million people volunteered through a group, club or organisation in the year 2020-21. Most people have formally volunteered at some point in their lives, dipping in and out of involvement over time. Volunteering patterns changed substantially during the pandemic, obviously, with lots of people either coming out of volunteering and staying at home, or actually people volunteering in a new way. Almost 1 in 5, or 17% of people, reported volunteering at least once a month, and that accounts for 9.2 million people. Less visible, of course, is the informal volunteering, which many people do, that isn't part of an organisation, which might include unpaid help, helping a next door neighbour or someone who's not a relative. And in 2021, 54% of the population volunteered informally at least once a year, and 33% did it at least once a month, helping local people in their communities. Now, Volunteers Week 2022 is a time to say thanks, and it goes without saying that volunteers have played a key role in the pandemic response. During an exceptionally difficult couple of years, people from all walks of life around the UK have taken the time to volunteer and make a huge difference to their communities, just as they do every year. Now, the lead organisation for volunteers and volunteering in the UK is the National Council for Voluntary Organisations, the NCVO. And we're going to hear now from their Chief Executive, Sarah Vibert, about volunteering and her own experience of a volunteer. So this is Sarah Vibert, who's the Chief Executive of the National Council for Voluntary Organisations. Here she comes now.
As CEO at NCVO, volunteering is a huge part of my professional life, but I also volunteer outside of work, formally through being a trustee of 2 organisations, one of which is entirely volunteer-led and run, and informally when I help out with the various sporting and other activities that my 2 sons take part in. So why do I volunteer? I guess my reasons for volunteering are as varied as the volunteering activities that I do. My brother had epilepsy, and I saw firsthand the difference good care and support can make to people with brain and spine conditions, which is why I'm a trustee of the Brain and Spine Foundation, which provides information and support to the 1 in 6 people in the UK with a neurological condition. But I also volunteer because I want to have an active role in my local community. As a trustee of my son's school parent-teacher association, and also helping out at things like the Beavers Group on a day trip, it means I get to know other parents, I get involved in the things that my children love, and I also organise events that are bringing people together and fostering that sense of community. And I think this is just so important after the last 2 years that we've all spent being apart. This week at NCVO, we're celebrating Volunteers Week. It's a national campaign that we lead in partnership with WCVA, Volunteer Scotland and Volunteer Now. Amazingly, Volunteers Week is now in its 38th year. It runs from the 1st to the 7th of June, and it's a time to celebrate and to thank volunteers for everything that they do in communities across the country every single day. This year is particularly special because it coincides with celebrations to mark the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. The Big Jubilee Lunch will run from the 2nd to the 5th of June and celebrates the Queen's 70 years of service, as well as bringing people together in their local communities. The theme for Volunteers Week is a time to say thanks, and we're going to be recognising all of those delivering vital work as volunteers in communities, in the good times, but also in more difficult times, such as those that we've experienced during the pandemic, and more recently in response to Russia's invasion of the Ukraine. Over half the population volunteered their time in some way during the past year. That's such an amazing number of people. Volunteering is pivotal to society. It binds communities together and it improves the well-being and opportunities for the individuals that get involved. But volunteering needs our support. And it's why at NCVO we're prioritising work to break down barriers to volunteering. Not everyone is able to get involved equally in volunteering, and not everyone who volunteers has a positive experience. So we're working with partners, and we've created an ambitious 10-year vision for volunteering, which will ensure volunteers are at the heart of thriving communities. So to find out more about Volunteers Week, check out the Volunteers Week website. We'll be sharing your inspiring volunteering stories throughout the week on the website and also on social media using the hashtag Volunteers Week. So let's use this 38th Volunteers Week as a time to say thanks to all our wonderful volunteers and celebrate the great work that they do. And of course, this year to thank NCVO's patron, Her Majesty the Queen, for 70 years of service as part of the wider Jubilee celebrations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah, there. And of course, many of you who are listening and watching will be volunteers yourselves. And if you're not and you want to get involved in volunteering, I mean, please do get in touch with us here at Wyke Regis TV, and we can put you in touch with many organisations that are looking for volunteers in our local community. Now, our third piece this week, we're going to look at something linked with the Jubilee, but it's something with a difference. Now, this week there has been the official opening of the new Elizabeth line in London, timed nicely to happen just before the Queen's Jubilee celebrations. Now, you might think, well, are we covering that? Well, I thought it'd be something different. It'd be something different because some people will be heading off to the capital at some time and will actually see it in person, but others might not. and it looks quite smashing, and there's been a massive investment in it. Now, the transformational Elizabeth line is supporting faster journey times across London and new jobs and economic growth throughout the country. It is the most significant addition to the capital's transport network for a generation. Nice brand new stations in central London provide Elizabeth line services every 5 minutes from 6 in the morning to 11 at night, Monday to Saturday, and the railway's route now appears on the iconic tube map. The new railway will provide new journey options and support wider regeneration and recovery from the pandemic, creating jobs, business opportunities and a huge economic boost for the country. It will also connect London's major employment centres and increase central London's rail capacity by 10%, the largest single increase in the capital's transport capacity in more than 70 years. Now, Her Majesty the Queen paid a visit a week before last. There she is on the screen with His Royal Highness the Earl of Wessex, and she visited Paddington to mark the completion of the new railway. Now, Great Western Railway, who run services into London and from Weymouth, obviously in the Bristol direction, have this week released a video, and it's fronted by someone you may be familiar with, fronts a lot of programmes on TV. Is railway historian and presenter Tim Dunn. Now, this video shows the new line and how it will improve journey times, and by kind permission of GWR, we're able to share this with you now. And Tim does a journey from Reading into London by the old route and by the Elizabeth line, and you can see how much it improves the service to members of the public.
Hello, I'm Tim Dunn, your friendly local railway historian. Today I am making an historic race against time to zip from Reading to Paddington aboard this, may I say, super fast Intercity Express train in just over 20 short minutes. But I am racing to the heart of East London, Canary Wharf, by both the usual route everyone takes on the tube, but also by the fantastic new rail route, the Elizabeth line, with journey savings that, like its stations, feel out of this world. We are well on our way. So, as this is a race, here is a handy stopwatch that is tracking my progress. Right, Paddington. Bear with me. Sorry. Now, most people go to the Bakerloo line over that way, but the brand new entrance to the Elizabeth line is that way over there. But if this is a race, guys, who am I racing against exactly? Hello, I'm Tim Dunn too, and I reckon I know who's going to win. Now, my badge tells me I'm actually going to be taking the rather fabulous new Elizabeth line. And my badges say I'm off to jump on the Bakerloo, then the Jubilee line. I am beside myself with excitement. Wow, what a station. The future has just arrived and it's here. This station you've got to come and see it. There are 12 trains an hour running from here to Abbey Wood, the far side of London in North Kent. Our chariots are here, so let's hop aboard. And here's the trusty Bakerloo. Trains run about every 4 minutes to central London, to interchanges, Oxford Circus and beyond, all the way to Elephant and Castle. A brand new Elizabeth line train, fully air-conned, all walk through, just ace. Hey, Tim 2, how's your journey going? That's real Tim 1, and for Canary Wharf, I changed the Jubilee at Baker Street. It's a nifty cross-platform hop, but it will still slow me down. But no change for me, and we're already whizzed through Bond Street, which will open up later this year. And we already stopped at Tottenham Court Road, which is right in the heart of central London, just a mind-boggling 5 minutes from Paddington. You at Baker Street yet then, Tim 2? Oh yes, I mean, in fact, we've just arrived. Liverpool Street have been and gone, fewer stops, faster trains, up to 60 miles an hour in those tunnels. Okay, just going under the Thames right now. Still got another 5 stops though before I get to Canary Wharf. I suspect my other half is nearly there though. Tim 1, where are you? In fact, I'm just arriving now, so time to stop the clock. A remarkable 17 minutes from Paddington. Now I just look at the clock, just under 50 minutes from Reading. That is amazing. I'll tell you what, the London commute just shifted up a gear. Time, I think, to grab myself a coffee and wait for his nibs to arrive.
There we go. Thank you to Tim Dunn and GWR for allowing us to share that with you. It does show that you can now get right into the heart of London and out to Docklands at Canary Wharf there in 50 minutes from Reading. Those trains look fantastic. You can look right through from one end to the other. They are joined right the way through, and lots of nice modern stations as well. Right, we get to that part in the programme where it's time to see what the weather is for the week ahead. So first of all, we go to the national weather forecast, and we're joined this week by Aidan McGibbon.
Hi there, a fine weekend to come for many. The best of any warm sunny spells will be on Saturday. Sunday looks cooler, cloudier, and there'll be a few showers about. Now into Saturday night, we see clearing skies once again fairly widely. Most places keep the light winds, but a brisk wind is starting to come down from the north, for the north of Scotland, North Sea coast as well. Out of the breeze, it's another cool night. Again, one or two mist patches possibly out of the breeze, but temperatures again fairly widely single figures as we start off Sunday. And here's what's happening for the second half of the weekend. The high pressure that brings us a fine Saturday is drifting to the northwest. That allows tighter isobars, particularly for the north and the east, with the wind coming down from the north. So that's going to bring cooler air to all parts on Sunday, but it will be particularly noticeable in the north and east, where there will be increased cloud cover as well and a few showers. One or two showers possible further west, for example Wales and the southwest. They'll be well scattered, however, and away from the showers in the southwest there will be some sunny spells, and it will still feel pleasant enough in the sunshine, but temperatures certainly a few degrees down compared to Saturday afternoon's highs, and really feeling quite disappointing northern and eastern Scotland, eastern England, 11 or 12 Celsius at best, along with the cloud and those showers. So it's going to be a marked contrast to Saturday, that's for sure. Much more on social media, but for now that's all for me. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Aidan, for the national weather forecast and our local weather forecast for the week ahead. As Aidan said, possibility of showers tomorrow, but it is one of those things that we might get them or they might pass us by, we never know. Going to be quite mild, getting warmer towards the end of the week, but as it gets warmer, a chance for some showers again. But generally not too bad for the week ahead. Now time for our traffic and travel. Roadworks notified this week continue on Portland Road by Ferry Bridge in the Chickerell area. I think there's still some road servicing carrying on. Roadworks in Dumbarton Road, Newstead Road, Grange Road, Corporation Road, Reedview Close, Bath Street, Esplanade Road, Carlton Road North and Moorside Avenue. Excuse me. On the trains, there is an amended service on the Waterloo service tomorrow, Sunday the 29th of May, and amended services on GWR this week, I think particularly in the evening, so do check before you travel. What's on? Weymouth Pavilion we've got coming up tomorrow, Sounds of Springsteen. Then 1st of June to 4th of June was a night at the musicals. 5th of June, Henning Wen, the comedian. 9th of June, back to Bacharach, music of Burt Bacharach. 10th of June, Housewives on Holiday, a comedy starring the Nolan sisters and others. And 11th of June, ABBA stars. The Noth, we've got the Platinum Jubilee Corgi Hunt on until the 5th of June. 2nd of June to 15th of July, Royal Memorabilia Exhibition. 2nd of June, Platinum Jubilee Tea. 17th of June, Alice's Adventure in Wonderland, which is a theatre production, and the Victorian weekend on the 23rd of July. Now, this Thursday, in Wyke, Regis, we have got the Platinum Jubilee celebrations at All Saints Church, an event there for the whole community of Wyke, Regis. It starts, I think, 10 in the morning. There's a Teddy Zipwire, there's a treasure hunt. There are bric-a-brac and all the usual sort of stalls like that. There are cream teas. There is a barbecue in the evening at 7 o'clock and a band. There is a choral workshop at 4 o'clock to learn the Jubilee anthems, and then the chance to sing them at a service at 6 o'clock and again at 9:45. The beacon lighting is at 9:45, and there are tower tours going on all day, but they are all full. They are all booked up for Thursday the 2nd. There are just a handful of places left on the second day for the tower tours, which is Saturday the 4th of June. Literally a handful. I think it's less than 10 places left if you haven't booked already. But it is a thought that there may be further dates offered later in the summer. And then they say the Teddy Zip Wire, one of the main events during the afternoon, and you can get a certificate if your Teddy goes down the zip wire from the top of the tower down to the grass. So lots going on there. I mean, more information on that is available on the church website at www.parishofwykeregis.org.uk. Well, there we go. That brings us to the end of another programme. It's just coming up to 6:45. Our Saturday night quiz will go online at 7:15, and the quiz itself will start at 7:30. You're welcome to join that. That's open to anyone. It's free, it's family friendly, and available to anyone who wants to join. And next Saturday at 7:30 we will be doing a special Platinum Jubilee themed quiz. So if there's nothing on the TV and there's no events on Saturday evening, do join us for our regular quiz every Saturday 7:30. Well, if you're not going to join us for the quiz, then of course we hope you'll join us next week at 6 o'clock for our regular news programme. We hope the rest of the weekend is good for you, and the week ahead is. I know for some it will be, as it's school half term, so some will be getting a quieter week than usual. But have a good week, stay safe, and I look forward to being with you next Saturday at 6 o'clock. Good night.